My name's Taylor. I am 21 years old, and I lost my brother when I was 16. There was a day when we were walking down the street. I think we were going to like 7-Eleven, and he knows I like the song There She Goes by the Laws. And he just starts yelling the lyrics at the top of his lungs, like, there she goes. Just yelling it, like, completely embarrassing me, making me wish I could just, like, run across the street away from him. And everyone's looking, and they're just like, what is going on? And he's laughing, and the laugh he had was one that I had only heard, like, a handful of times before this, and it was just the most beautiful laugh I'd ever heard. And so yeah, when I think about it, it just always makes me really happy.
Hi, my name is Hayden Cowan. I'm 21 years old, and I lost my father when I was 16. My favorite memory with my father is a Wednesday night when I was younger. We used to go to badminton in Blenheim, and it was after the night was over, and we were just driving back, listening to a Genesis mixtape that my dad made, and just talking and having a good time.
It's kind of differed throughout the years, but at first you kind of feel like you don't really know what emotions feel like anymore. You kind of just go like bleh. But it made me definitely keep to myself more and want to be alone and not want to deal with people, or kind of just made me shut down in a lot of ways. And but part of me was also wanting to do good in school for him and kind of try to work at something, and I knew that completely shutting down wouldn't be the answer either, so it was kind of a bit of both that I did. So it was kind of a weird, I kind of went downhill, but I also kind of strided too, so yeah.
A lot of little ways that it affects me, because I can't really turn to him for advice on things in everyday life that most people could. Relationship advice, just school advice, personal advice. But I guess I've kind of gotten used to the lack of presence, so part of me feels like, oh, so this is what everyone else goes through. And then I realized, no, they usually have someone to talk to.
It's a weird thing because it's like you kind of have a feeling that you already know what's coming, but my first immediate reaction was I just kind of felt like my world was spinning, and I just started crying, and I was like screaming, and it was just one of those, you hear about it in movies, but it was just because I didn't know how to react. Like my body was just like, it felt like it was shutting down because I was in so much shock, and I was so sad, but I was angry, and it was just like all these different things at once, and I just kind of like, I just fell to the floor, and I was just kind of like losing my mind, I guess, for the first little bit.
Well, the last thing I said was goodbye, because Dad passed away in home and got to be there till the very end, and knew pretty close to the time when it was gonna happen, and managed to say it probably like an hour before it happened. One of my biggest regrets was not spending more time with him while I had it, because a lot of the times he was right across the street from high school, and I just thought I need to focus on school. He was gonna get better, but that didn't happen.
I think my biggest regret is just not knowing, just let things go and to live in the moment and appreciate the loved ones a little bit more, which I think is a pretty cliche answer. I would tell him that we're all okay and that we're good. I would tell him that he has a beautiful niece that is happy and healthy and wild and just like him, and he would be so proud of her.
If I could tell my dad anything, it would be that I miss him, and that I love him, and I hope he's proud of me. Based on my own coping mechanisms, have a better coping mechanism. Talk to people. Don't just shut down. It's very important that you reach out and connect and try and find a way to express yourself. Don't bottle it up.
cry, let it out, do it, or else you're just going to feel miserable and it's going to be awful. And don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of the process, and don't try to fix things because it's not fixable. You can help yourself day by day and just try to face it and try to acknowledge what you're feeling and not hide it, but you need to also be honest with yourself about what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, because I think if you're not honest with yourself or you don't have any real motivation to want to change it, then it's not going to work.